what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a couple all the way from Chattanooga, Tennessee. They used to be in here, so come on up, guys. There you go. There you go. And what they're going to do is they're going to share with you how they got here, what they did, where they started.
So we became members in 2006. Her aunt and uncle.
Well, who are you first? Tell us who you are.
Robert, Lisa Hammond.
There you go. Let's start with there.
Gotta hold that microphone up higher.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Robert and Lisa Hammond. Sound check. Can you?
Oh, we got to move toward the center. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got like 300 people out there. So
right.
Smile big, talk loud.
Hello, TV land people. Okay. So I owned a restaurant. She was a teacher. We both knew we wanted to get into real estate. And her aunt and uncle were early members of this group and had retired themselves with 22 homes out of corporate America. So we went and visited them and like, okay, how do you do it? They said, well, go to Lifestyles, get educated. So we came here, got educated, and I'm type A as well. And I was like following Dell around and I was ready to buy during the 2-day class, you know, like trying to pick off the screen like what the dresses were so I could go buy during the break or something, you know? And then we did jump right into it. We bought 35 houses the first year, and then we bought another 39 houses the second year. So we were type A.
Type A.
So we were buying at a very fast clip, and then the goal was to change our lifestyle and be able to have a family without putting them in daycare and seeing them like 1 hour a day. And so
These are our two beautiful children right here in the front row.
yes, proof that it works right there. So let me
ask you this before you get going.
Yeah.
So you started in single family.
Yes, sir.
Did you consciously say, I want to start in single family because I'm not ready to go to multifamily?
Right, we didn't have any money.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, no,
Yeah.
fair enough.
So
You started with zero money.
I started with zero money.
Okay.
And but I learned something here quickly. Oh, and I pulled my house off the market, which I was going to sell, and I was going to walk away with nothing. And then I analyzed it, realized I could put $10,000 and put granite in and everything, and then sell it and make 50. So I made 50 on my personal house. We took that and then parlayed it into a small portfolio of 10 houses.
Well, we did a flip deal. The second
Oh, yeah,
deal
one
was
flip
a
deal.
We don't do that. We don't teach that. Forget that.
to make more money,
Okay.
to then start
Okay, then we
investing
had-
and buying houses.
Yeah, then we had 70,000 with the flip deal. We made 22,000 on the flip deal, so we had 72,000, and we made that into 10 houses.
Very good.
And then I was out of money and out of credit, and I talked to Dell, and Dell said, take on partners, build more portfolios, and we did that. That's how we, bought a lot of houses. Okay, so we chilled out after the 2008 crash, and really she was pregnant. She said, stop buying houses. And then I'm like, yeah, sure. No, stop buying houses, She was gonna kill me. And I'm like, all right, she's serious. And then, all right. And I still bought a few houses on accident just because. One day I'm like, she's like, well, what did you do today? I'm like, oh, nothing. Oh, I bought a house. She's like, Robert, I told you not to buy any more houses. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. All right. So then we had our first child. We chilled out. We learned to put priorities differently, and because we were the 74 houses in 2 years is a lot of work.
It's insane.
I counted. It was 117 phone calls a day. That was the average amount of phone calls I took. And so I was doing like Monster, and doing all these energy drinks, and I was just like,
Couple lines.
and she's ready to kick me out. She's just way off in left field. She's ready to kick me.
That was another
to a different part of the
conversation.
house. So then we're chilling out and managing our portfolios for years, and
We got comfortable.
Okay.
We got comfortable in single family.
Yeah, and we knew that. She said, I'm bored. The kids are going to be going away to school here. I want to go into multifamily. And I'm like, well, we know single family, I feel very confident in single family, but multifamily, I'm like, neophyte. I'm going to be a peon in multifamily. And so we came here and started taking the PIG classes, got educated, and when I really studied multifamily, I saw the value in it, like the growth that could be without taking some of our equity. Now we had money, and we could take that equity and build on it and build, more cash flow and more equity and faster than single family. So we got our first deal. You mentored us on our first deal in Texas, Bridge City, Texas. Kind of what I was seeing is that
That was your first multifamily?
that was our first multifamily.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it
That was
was
good.
School of Hard Knocks. That place was tough.
That one was our college education
There you go. There you
in
go.
multifamily.
Oh my gosh, we had we had a welcome party for the tenants, and we pulled up to go to this welcome party crawfish boil thing, and there was an ambulance and a fire truck, and a baby died, and they wheeled her off. This blue baby, they wheeled her off, and it's like, okay, that's a little bit of a, to say the least, a little bit of a party kill, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's not a party, just eat the food and let's go on,
But
And it got better, it got worse from there.
No, it got better.
they preach to start small, or at least they used to back in the day. And we really understood the reasoning for that, buying that smaller deal. And I actually remember you saying within 6 months, you're going to want to sell this deal and move to a bigger deal. And it was true because it was a lot of work. It could not sustain a full-time staff.
Right.
So you had part-time staff. So we were taking leasing calls, and we were, living in Houston, driving back and forth and managing this property and doing a lot of the work on it.
Very
But we learned it inside and out.
Okay, very good. So where are we at today then? You started with single family,
Well,
small multifamily, then we're getting to.
Well, so before we even bought the 39 unit, we thought, where's a great market? Because the cap rate compression was happening in Houston, the insurance, the taxes, it was brutal. And I was really wanting double-digit returns. So I started thinking like, maybe we can buy in another state, but we wanted to get our first deal here and get some hand-holding on this first deal. And it felt like too much of a risk to just jump to another state with no help, So we did the first deal, and then I analyzed about 250 cities in the U.S. and was studying markets, basically doing analytics on that. And then I honed in on Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida, and I was hunting those grounds. And then I got this deal in West Tennessee, and it had good numbers, and it was Christmas, and I had the flu, but I knew, and this broker called me and said, I got this deal, and I didn't care I had the flu, but I knew that nobody's gonna be talking to him because it's Christmas, so I'm gonna talk to him. And so I said, absolutely, I'm interested, and I analyzed it, and I was like, yeah, I'm interested. And then we ended up getting it.
Y'all will actually be very, very surprised how many deals get done by picking up the phone and talking to someone. At times when no one else wants to pick up the phone and talk to someone, you will be absolutely surprised. I mean, even in like your employers or people getting hired, you'll be surprised how many people are hired at the end of the year because salary constraints are like, I need somebody. Pick up the phone, you'll be surprised by the opportunities that'll be there. And this is one of them, so congrats. All right.
Yeah, so I actually got intimidated by this property because you go to this property and there's 16 buildings.
Where exactly it's in Brighton, right?
It's in Brighton, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Memphis.
Memphis.
So Memphis has a very rotten, I call it kind of a rotten core, where you got very low income, very high crime. That's not where you want to be. There's a lot of deals there. It's like 50 cents a square foot. It's crazy. But you don't want that. And so if you do the analytics, there's some really nice communities surrounding. It's like bedroom communities where nice schools, low crime, high income, and people drive into the city, into a FedEx or whatever, and do their jobs, and then drive back out to their nice little suburban homes. So anyways, a bedroom community called Brighton, Tennessee, and this property was there. I had gotten there like.
Go forward one.
What?
Go forward one.
Go forward. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. So this is an after shot. We purchased it in April of 2020, at 53 a door.
Anybody would like to buy anything right now for $53,000 a door? I mean, if you're familiar with it, like, Jesus Christ, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cash out of pocket, 1.7 million.
Right.
That all came from selling off your houses, right?
We raised it. We
You
raised it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many investors do you have?
We had 10 investors in that deal.
All right.
This one's 20.
This one's 20. Okay, 10 in the first
You
deal.
got married,
10 in the
20?
first one, 20 in this one.
Yeah.
and all 20 of them are from Tennessee?
Most of them are from Houston, I think.
Okay.
Maybe a couple from Dallas. There's some here. Right? There's some lovely, a lot of great
We
ones
got some
here.
over, we got a hand over there.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So much. All right. So
You want 20 more of these?
20 more. Yeah.
Well, let's find out why. Let's
All
find
right.
out why.
So we had a rehab budget of $880,000. So our income today is $869,000, expenses $269. So we got a net NOI. We had an NOI of $600,000. Monthly cash flow of $36,900, and our cash on cash return right now is 26%.
Okay, a couple things I want to point out here is, first of all, this is incredible. Round of applause, right? Sorry, what do I have to do? But I can't see anything. Okay, here I can see it here. Okay, so couple things. So these are annualized income, annualized expenses, annualized NOI. Net operating income, for those of you who are new, that's how we value multifamily communities, all right, in the U.S. So the higher the NOI, the higher the value of your property. The lower the NOI, the lower the value of your property. So our goal is to increase NOI. You're going to go over like a million ways.
Oh, we're going to geek out on that on
All right,
Sunday.
very good. On Sunday, we're going to geek out on that. So what I want to understand here is that a lot of people, especially if you're in the Houston market, the Gulf Coast market, you're looking at those expenses going, those are way too low, expense-wise, to be with that income. In Tennessee, it's a completely different environment. And in Massachusetts, completely different environment. In Florida, completely different environment. You have to analyze, and he said he analyzed, I mean, you analyze the shit out of us.
250 cities, yeah.
250 cities. That's a lot of cities to be analyzing. Crazy. I concentrate on one, but okay. But the expenses as a percentage of income, completely different. The expense structure, the income structure, you have to know where you're at. So kudos for doing that analysis, but it's completely different than what you're used to. Your cash on cash returns right now are like 26%. Were you expecting that?
We were expecting, we told people 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
So you've doubled expectations. You were sandbagging
Well,
the whole way, weren't you? God. Horrible.
Well, and right now we're officially at 13%. We just happen to be, we've exceeded it 2 quarters in a row, but it's not, we don't know what normal is yet. It's going, but it's
Yeah, because that's
at least 13%.
Very good.
The rents just keep going up.
The rents, exactly. They just keep going up. All right, awesome. And so far, you've distributed how much?
Have we distributed 585,000? Oh my gosh. Okay, 585,000. Yeah, that's what we've distributed.
Is that on a refi? You got a
No.
refi. That's on just distributions.
Just cash distribution.
Okay, so that's just operational income being distributed, guys. That is not a refinance. That's not anything major. That's just cash out the door on financing. That's incredible. Han, that's awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let's move on.
Well, Lisa's, a lot of it has, a ton of it has to do with her. I was smart enough to go chase this thing down, but she's,
I think you were smart enough to answer the phone, dude. Make him call back. I mean, kudos. That's awesome.
This property, when we went to look at it, it was built over 3 years. There's 16 buildings, and it was ugly. I mean, you see one picture here, and it was brick. The guy we bought this from was the same gentleman who built this property.
Okay.
And he was all about whatever he could get his hands on for the cheapest amount of money. So every 2 or 3 buildings had different brick.
Oh,
no. There were 16 buildings. 13 of them had different brick,
It
completely
was
different
just,
brick.
there was no cohesiveness to the property at all. And
and it was all built at the same time, not one building, then one building, and one building?
over 3 years.
Over 3 years. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so it just really, it looked dark and dingy. There's no amenities on this property. Has a mailbox hut. That's it, and some streets. And so, one of the first thing we did was we wanted to make it look like it was one complex, that it all belong together. And so Robert came up with the idea of staining the brick.
Yeah. We didn't want to paint the brick and create a maintenance issue, like you're creating maintenance basically by painting brick. So, but they have a product where you stain it and you're done. It's fantastic, and it goes in about this deep into the brick. It has to be porous brick.
Okay.
So we had one building that didn't have porous brick. It had like a sealed kind of brick, and we painted that one. But that was okay to paint that because it wasn't breathing like these other bricks were.
And we did spend the money on hiring a designer that actually lived here. They were from Houston, and we just sent them photos of the property and different things, and they helped us out with the
designers
color
in Memphis?
scheme.
No designers.
No, there were, but we wanted to go. I picked the Sugar Land people. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So we didn't have a ton of these green bathrooms, but that's one of the.
I don't even remember that color. I remember the yellow and the green. Not that. That's
There
like
was probably a sale.
probably a sale. Very nice.
I feel like I could sell that online for some money.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so we, a lot of the units had the tile flooring, and we wanted to go ahead and upgrade with the plank. We also changed out some cabinetry. We didn't do that in all of the units. Kind of just took a case-by-case basis on what the condition was. Some of the cabinets we just painted, some of them got new cabinets. In this photo, you see the higher end, which is what we started off with when we were kind of testing the market. We went with stainless steel appliances. And it turns out that market just really didn't need stainless steel. They liked or sometimes preferred black. So we kind of changed, at some point to going to the black, but we did a whole new paint color, new flooring, new countertops, cabinets were needed or painting. And that's kind of what we did to the interior. Focused on kitchens and bathrooms.
Yes.
Made the rest clean and nice.
I was going to point that out. What sells your community? First of all, the exterior, the curb appeal when you go there. But when they go into the actual apartment they're going to be leasing, kitchens, baths. Kitchens, baths, kitchens, baths. As long as they're clean, they're functional, everything looks nice, it'll sell. It's great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I don't know if you guys can see these. We had a ton of these satellites dishes all over the place. We probably had like 75 satellite dishes. I hired one of my contractors. We warned everybody we're going to take them all down, and we just spent like 2 days ripping all of them out, and a lot of people got ticked off. But we didn't care. Like, okay, you can go to whatever the choices were, AT&T or something like that. They had a couple of choices.
And then we also redid the parking lot and restriped.
Okay.
Right, we redid it and we sealed it, and then we restriped it.
Again, all this was in your rehab budget going in. You knew exactly how much dollars they were going to spend to rehab this place. It's all in your budget. And I didn't see, was some of that budget, was that rehab in your loan or not in your loan?
Half of it was in the loan.
Half of it was in the loan. Okay, so you actually can get lenders to lend money to improve the property that they're giving you money on to purchase. Funny how great how that happened. You're going over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go over all that. Sweet. All right, so
So this is the 1 year 2, year 1, year 2, year 3 numbers. We're looking at income and rents. Let's see. Let's
Go to the next one. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is what they want to see.
Oh, okay. Well, so it took a little, we bought it during COVID, and it took a little while to get some staff, and we went through a manager that we inherited, and she was the best we could find at the time, and then I eventually fired her and hired somebody else, and this other woman was amazing.
So we didn't really cover this, but when we found this property, decided to buy it, put $50K down hard, COVID hit. So we had to decide at that point, are we going to move forward or are we going to walk away from that $50,000? And because we have no idea what's going to happen. So that first year when we decided to move forward, obviously, but that first year we got a lot of exterior stuff done, but we didn't anticipate like court shutting down. This place was very mismanaged. We knew we had hoodlums living there. People we needed to get out in order to change the whole perception of the property. And that first year, the court shut down. We couldn't get anybody out, so we had to do the best we could. I think we only renovated, I think it was like 3 units that first year because we just couldn't get people out.
Right.
So year 2 is when things really started picking up for us.
Yeah, we were miserable failures the first year. No, but our pastors were very patient with us, and
They
so
kind of had to be. I mean, the entire world shut down, right? So you got to,
Yeah.
very good. But you persevered. You bought during COVID. Crazy. That's insane. You were going to lose 50 grand if you didn't go forward. Hard money. Do you go over hard money in the 2-day?
Hard just means non-refundable.
Non-refundable money. I mean, they put it up, and if they didn't close, they were going to lose that money. So $50,000 is a lot of money considering what they start with. 0, right? Remember that way back when? So, I mean, it's a lot to walk away from. And if you notice across the top line, it says net operating income. When that goes up, what happens to the value of your property? Look at that second line. What did you buy this for? The purchase price was $3.78 million. What is it worth today in today's dollars?
it's worth $10 million.
I think that's a pretty good return. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
What's the return on that? Let's carry the 1. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Impressive, eh?
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
like that. I like that. I like that.
So it's 289 unrealized return on the original in 4 years. That's a 72.3% annualized.
So when are you going to refinance or sell and give these people all their money?
Well, it's a kind of a cash cow right now, and I've talked to some of the passives, and they're like, "Well, I can't. If we take the money out, it's going to whack the cash flow, chop it in half." So they're kind of thinking we're getting good return on this money, so let's leave it there and until at least the interest rates are attractive.
Right. Okay. So who would like to have this problem of cash flow and what do? We could sell it. We could refi. Oh, let's just suck the cash out of it. That's beautiful. All right. Sorry. Is that not? Can I not say that?
Totally fine.
Okay. Good. All right.
laughing.
I'm doing well tonight. I
No
thought.
tomatoes. He didn't drink.
All right. So how'd you increase the NOI? Because that's really the key. Give us a couple points.
Well, we just started operating it, conscious, using the lifestyle, be a good shepherd to the property, take care of things, care about people, replacing a lot of ACs, improving things as fast as we could, and putting in systems like, screen people and kick people out that are hurting the property. So it's just a process of.
In year 2, we had a ribbon cutting ceremony there, and a bunch of the police department came in, and they said, this was after COVID and everything, we'd kind of cleaned the place up. They said, we thought our radios had broken. We weren't getting calls to this property anymore. We were wondering what happened.
Yeah, the city loves us because it was kind of the armpit of the city, really, if you want to call it that.
Oh, it's Memphis, right?
No, it's Brighton. It's Brighton. So Brighton is really nice.
Okay.
The median household income is $58,000 in Brighton. Okay. So I mean, it's in really good schools. It's a very attractive place. Small, but it's very attractive. Okay. But this was really the main rental property on the entire area. Okay, so we raised rents. Really, this is how we raised rents $475 per unit. That's huge.
That's insane.
And yeah.
That's good. And that's not easy to do. And it's hard to when someone renews saying, "Oh, we're going to increase your rent by $200, $300, $400 a month." That's really hard. But you know your market. You know what everybody else is charging. And are you still under market? Are you at market? Or where are you guys at right now?
We're at market. We're pretty
now?
close, yeah.
Okay, very good.
And actually, when we finished, when we went in and bought the property, the plan was to renovate at least half of the units, which we did. And then when that ended and we were deciding how to move forward, we were kind of just doing units as people moved out. So we started sending renewals, $25, $50. I think we started at $50 less than what we were getting for these high renovated, and people just kept signing. So we would go in and change out the blinds to 2-inch blinds and do a few things, and that just kept happening.
Very nice. Very cool.
So our return on our little rehab was much higher than this $15,000 beautiful rehab where you get $50 more than what people are signing on. So we kind of shifted a little bit. Do we still do the high-end rehabs or mostly just?
We just kind of lowered the rehab scope some and and we're just getting just as good.
But it's still the kind of the best product in the area
Best
for
product,
the best
best price,
price,
yep.
right? So again, you got to know your area. You don't want to build a Taj Mahal where you don't have to, right? So they figured that out, and they're just doing a moderate rehab, clean, functional, and they're getting probably pretty much the same rents that you were getting on the fully rehabbed one. So just have to know your market. And you can change that, right? Once you buy something, you get into it, you can always shift, but which direction you're taking, depending on what your market wants, depending on what your client is, depending on what's going on in the world, you can always shift, especially if you have if you buy right and you have cash flow.
And just a note on that, when you do put your rehab budget in the loan, they do make you say what exactly you're going to do. And if it's in the loan, it's harder to change course if you can and you need to. They have to go back to Fannie or Freddie and say, they want to change this. They don't want to put in these floors. They want to put in these floors and that sort of thing. So it makes it a little harder, but.
Very good. All right. So what's next?
Okay. Did I skip too far? Where are we at? No. All right. So this is where we're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
tell us your quote.
all right. Our quote is, is it gone? No, it's there. I thought okay. Our lives have changed dramatically from the day we walked in here. And, because we got into the houses, she retired from teaching at 32. And I sold my pizza restaurant. And all we did was real estate. And we had control over our time, which is what we were really shooting for. And we were able to be there and raise our kids. And it's been great. We were in a couples group at one point where we're raising our kids, and we get to see them every day, a lot. And all these other parents, it was so heartbreaking because all the other parents were complaining, like, yeah, I got to put them in daycare at 7 a.m., and I pick them up at 6 p.m. And it's just, you could tell the torture these people are going through. And I just we felt like very lucky when you just oppose those two situations, So so we semi-retired ourselves, and it is semi-retirement because renting an apartment complex or renting a bunch of rental houses is semi-retirement. You're not fully retired, but it's good.
So can I recap something? I just figured this out. You started out as owning a pizza shop and a teacher with no money.
Right.
Now you have at least one asset that's worth $10 million.
Yep.
That's impressive.
We've got a lot more than that.
I know. I get that. I go, you got one asset worth 10, but that's impressive right there in itself. All right, very good. So what's next?
Wait, do you still have houses?
Yes.
Yeah, we have about 30, something like that, 33 houses.
You don't even know. Okay. I said 30-something.
And we have another apartment, a 200 unit in Chattanooga.
You have passive investment?
And I forgot, we're passive in Knoxville.
Forgot that too.
We're passive in Knoxville, yeah.
Do you still have do you have restaurants now too?
No, but I've got a great idea for a restaurant. It's called Best of Texas, and it's in Tennessee because they love Texas.
They opened up a Buc-ee's in Tennessee, dude, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They have some.
Awesome.
Going worldwide.
It is. All right, so what's next for y'all?
All right. So we're going to be cautious, and we want to run the 200 unit, get it up to where we want it, and we're going to continue to oversee the Brighton, Tennessee property, which this is about, and keep it going on the right track. We want to be cautious and position ourselves to be ready for another multifamily deal. But I am cautious. I want to be my eyes wide open. The Chattanooga deal, we assumed a loan because we didn't want to get caught in one of those, I know that's high level stuff, but we assumed a loan. And so we just want to be cautious and keep buying assets like this. And I think 100 to 300 units is great. And people are making great money on 50 and 75 units. So those are awesome too. So we'll keep our mind open on some of those projects.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then just spend time enjoying our marriage, family, friends, travel. We just went to Alaska for 9 days or something like that. 12 days.
12 days.
Okay, 12 days. 12 days in Alaska. So we're just looking at other big trips and just trying to enjoy our lives with our kids and our friends and family. So
Very nice.
yeah, it is. It's a sweet life. It's a sweet life.
So we talk about a lot about teams here and who's on your team. So obviously you didn't do this alone. So who was on your team?
Well,
Pop it forward. You got
oh,
pictures
okay,
on.
here we go.
There you go.
Nicole,
Shoot it
Scott,
up.
Curtis Haynes, and Richard Robinette. Richard Robinette has helped with a lot of the, the what do you call the
Syndication.
Thank
Syndication,
you.
the
Syndication
PPMs.
papers. PPM is what I was looking for. The PPM. And we also do these things called reverse 1031 exchanges, where we take a chunk of our money and move it into these projects. So he helps us with those, and we figured out the kind of those complications and how to do it. Now we've done 3 of those, and we feel very comfortable with it.
And Nicole Scott, she's great. Like if you're investing outside of the Texas area, I just don't feel so alone with her. As a mentor, having somebody that can
Yes,
focus on us.
we do have mentors that are cover the entire U.S. So wherever you want to buy a place or think you want to buy a place, we'll have mentors there that can assist you there as well.
I was going to come back to Nicole. I wasn't over Nicole. Nicole's been great. She has held her hand on a bunch of different situations, and I call her. We think of her as a friend. I think we are friends. Maybe we'll have to see. And then Curtis provides a lot of wisdom in various situations, and I call him occasionally too, and get a lot of mentoring. So you never outgrow mentoring.
And you didn't put Randa on here, but we call Randa all the time still. So we used her when we were here.
Well,
in
there was only
Texas.
2 spots for mentors, so
Randa helps us out too. I'm always texting or calling.
that's right. Randa's awesome.
Awesome. We have time for a couple questions.
David, let's take them online first. And
Yeah, I had one question. You might have answered part of it. Did you move there and manage or have a third-party management?
Great question. So I wanted to tell this story because we closed on it like 3 o'clock on a Wednesday or something. And then we were having dinner, and I looked up to my wife and my kids, and I said, I have to go to Memphis now. And I got in my car, and I drove my car to Memphis, drove for like 11 hours straight or something. Got in about 3 or 4 in the morning and got in the hotel, stayed. And I thought, I'll just drive back and forth. And no, wait, I'm going to fly. So I flew back every week, and then I just left my car. My car never came back to Texas. It stayed in Tennessee. And I just commuted. I would fly to Memphis every Monday or Tuesday, and then fly back every Thursday or Friday for like the first 6 months. And I rented an Airbnb, and I got to know these people who became my roofer. But
So we self-managed it. We did not have a third party.
yeah, no third
Sounds
party.
like you
To answer your
self-managed.
question,
Self-managed.
we self-managed. Yeah, and then I
Okay,
ended
so
up.
just again for the newbie, that is not the lifestyle we're talking about, all right? It's not the lifestyle. That's a job. What they're doing, starting out, that's a job, all right?
Well, we were paying our dues, and I'm grateful to do that because a third party could not have done what we did.
No, absolutely not. I agree.
So thank you. He agreed to it. Did you hear that? He
I
agreed
agree.
to it.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
You're a third party. Third
yeah.
party
Any
versus
other-
self-management. They self-manage, right? They
Self-managed.
self-manage.
David, anything else online? How about in the room? Any questions in the room? We got one right over here.
Robert, you mentioned getting the quote-unquote bad people out when you first bought the property.
Yeah.
Part of that was COVID, right? And the laws where you couldn't throw people out.
So getting people out, was that
The
difficult? in
court, the
beginning? It was
courts had
COVID
shut
that
down during COVID. That was the problem with not getting them out the first year, was because we couldn't file evictions. But there was people living there when we bought it. It was a rough property.
When you buy an underperforming, poorly managed property, you're going to have a bunch of purple Martians, a bunch of people that aren't going to help the morale of the other residents who are good. And the goal is to kind of make a list and get them out as soon as you can. I mean, that's what we did in Bridge City, and then that's what we've done on a bunch of properties. I mean, well, the 3 properties that we've owned, it's the same process every time. We come a new sheriff in town, and they start to know that, oh, I'm not going to be able to get away with my BS, and it becomes uncomfortable, and they leave a lot of times. So it's a process.
So part 2 of the question is there a big difference between the Texas laws of eviction and Tennessee?
Are there differences between
You know,
Texas?
it's
Hold on,
JP.
there's people on that want to hear too.
Okay,
Are
sorry.
there differences between Tennessee and Texas eviction laws?
Well,
laws in general?
it's very JP specific because in Bridge City, we had a liberal judge, and I couldn't believe, I can give you some stories, and I want to branch off into that, but there was some goofy stuff that happened there. And then the judge in Tennessee was great. You win, but the only problem is it was happening during COVID, so the courts were shut down, but it was kind of like a national thing where lots of courts. But since that cleared up, yeah, the judges have been great in Tennessee. And in fact, no, I'm not going to even tell you how. There's some cool things about Tennessee, but I'm not going to even tell you.
Yeah, so to answer your question in general, every state has different laws as far as the eviction process, but Tennessee is a very landlord-friendly state as well as Texas. They're both landlord-friendly states. All right, any other questions? Yes, sir. We have to repeat the question.
Oh, sorry.
So the question was, are your plans, have they changed from when you first purchased the property to where they're at now, correct? Okay.
Well, our whole life changed when we became members and we did the houses and all that. But then our lives changed again when we bought that property because then we ended up moving to Tennessee, to Chattanooga, the Chattanooga area. And so that's been a complete lifestyle change. It was an upgrade as far as the environment. I mean, you wouldn't believe how beautiful our property is. We have deer running around all the time and turkey and groundhogs and foxes. And so to answer, no, I mean,
The property itself.
I'm sorry.
What's your outlook on the property thing?
Yeah.
Focus.
The outlook on the property is we only wish we could get more. That's it. And we look for more, just like it. And, we're going to continue looking. And when we find something like that again, we're going to jump all over it. Yeah.
But they also live on a nice property that's got reindeer and it's got fox and bear. It's a very beautiful property, very beautiful. All right, awesome. Well,
I get the last question.
okay, sorry.
What would you tell the new folks here in the room or online?
Well, start wherever you are. I really respect single family. I love single family. I think if you have nothing, you can start with single family and you can build some wealth and your financial trajectory will change. Just getting you get 3 single family properties, you're complete, it'll be a massive change to your long-term trajectory. And then, as you get more chunks of money and everything else, then start looking at multifamily, and that's a great instrument as well. So,
Lisa, anything to add?
Well, like the other 2 people who presented tonight, just do it. I mean, it's scary at first, but if you just take the step, Lifestyles has a lot of systems in place to help us do that and to help us change our financial trajectory. And if you just follow kind of the model and what other people have done and they come back and teach everybody else to do, then you will go somewhere.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Let's give them a hand.
Thank you very much.